Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Welcome back to another live stream. We are at the Reform UK's big announcement of the London mayoral candidate. I'm going to show you what we are actually seeing here. There were some issues actually this morning. Look at this taxi. So we already know who the candidate is going to be, Howard Cox. So we got this nice taxi. It's black cab, which is turned to Reform UK branding. Howard Cox, who will be scrapping ULEZ, cutting crime, and ditching Sadiq Khan. So we crowd here. Basically, there was supposed to be a battle bus that was going to be also here, and Reform UK as a party and Howard Cox was supposed to get on that battle bus, do the announcement there, do the interviews, make the speeches, and drive around central London in Westminster. But there was an issue. Somebody attacked the bus. Somebody attacked the battle bus, and basically the battle bus is not here right now. So what we have instead is we have Richard Tice. Let me show you. We got Richard Tice here, and we have Howard Cox, the candidate for the London mayor, up there doing a photo shoot. I'm just gonna wait for them to quickly finish, and I'm gonna ask them some questions about what the plan is for London and for Reform UK going forward. Obviously, we just came from the Reclaim Party's press conference. I apologise again for the mess early this morning with the camera and the sound quality. Essentially, as I said, the tripod I had was these guys are having issues with the battle bus. I had an issue with the car driving over my tripod, so that was broken just before the press conference. And in the room that they had the press conference, the sound quality was absolutely terrible. So in the middle of the actual speech, I had to put one of these mics on the desk so we could actually hear what's going on. Anyway, let's find the candidate. Where's the candidate? We've lost Howard. Oh, he's still up there. Okay, let's wait for Richard Tice and see what he has to say.
There's no question that tradespeople, motorists, ordinary folk are being so damaged by Sadiq Khan's woeful policies, particularly with regard to transport, moving around, getting to work, getting to hospital, seeing some friends and relatives and loved ones. This is absolutely vital. This simple statistic that London is now the slowest large city in the world.
Let's go up there. We're going to have a chat with them quickly. Let's go up there and find Howard Cox. That's Howard Cox, the mayoral candidate, London mayoral candidate for Reform UK. All right, just doing the photo shoot. This is behind the scenes, guys. There we go. We're in the live stream. So what's happening here today?
Well, we've got obviously the launch of we've got a launch of Howard Cox and the Reform mayoral candidate, which I wish him all the best. It's great to meet him.
Brilliant.
And this is hopefully going to be a step in the right direction to get these things sorted out. We've got Richard Tice down there who's announcing bits and pieces as well, and it's going to be a monumental day.
Great. Looking forward to it. We'll just go have a chat with Howard Cox and
let's
see
go
what he
have
has
a
to
chat
say.
with him.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Good to see you.
Hello, sir. Okay, so we have. Yes, absolutely. It's good. If you want to hold this, I'll put it somewhere.
Yeah.
So
I'll put it here.
yeah, why not? Talk to us. Oh, we got more people coming. Look,
Mr. Daubney.
Hello, mate.
Hello, Martin.
crashing the interview.
Good to see you, my friend.
Good luck, mate.
How are you, sir?
Great.
So talk to us. What's happening here today? What are you doing in this lovely weather in Westminster?
Yeah, it's a cracking day. It's really nice. They say the sun shines on the righteous, but I don't know about me. Yes, I'm here because I'm announcing my candidacy to stand as London mayor because I cannot stand by any longer and put up with this wrecking ball of a mayor that's ruining our economy and ruining our lives in our proud capital city. And I've been told by thousands and thousands of people they want me to stand because I've been standing up for motorists, and particularly for the last 13 years. I've managed to get a freezing duty in that time. I'm quite proud that we've managed to do that. But they're asking me to stand on lots of other issues, like not just road use issues, but crime and social housing as well.
On the issue of motorists, do you think, obviously we all have to be optimistic, but it's not just about ULEZ in London, but just the whole of the West right now. Do you think it's a losing battle? Do you think things are going to change in terms of cars getting banned or something as bad as that in the future? Or is there a way to actually fight back and actually keep it going for a while at least?
Well, I believe in people power. That's how, since 2010, I've managed to stop a planned fuel price escalator from embedding itself in both the Tory and the Labour manifestos to date. And if it hadn't been for people power, we would be paying something like £1 more at the pumps. We'd be in a huge recession, inflation would be rocketing, all those sorts of things, jobs would have been lost, business would have gone to the wall. But because fuel is so important to the economy. And I believe that we've got to do the same now to stop these draconian, these dictatorial approaches to what's happening in our cities across the UK, led by this incredibly dishonest mayor in London.
On the issue of the ultra low emission zones, the Tories, they have a couple of candidates who will be announced, and one of them at least have said that, well, I think that the line is they're going to stop the ULEZ expansion. Is your priority to stop the expansion or the whole of ULEZ?
I want to scrap the whole of ULEZ.
Good.
I've just recently done a report, which I commissioned with the Centre for Economic and Business Research, an independent economists. I asked them what is the actual cost of ULEZ to date. And to cut a huge story short, they came out with the fact it's approaching £800 million a year to the economy, to the GDP of our proud capital. And ULEZ is not the way to actually get London motoring. LTNs as well, and 20-mile-an-hour limits, and eating into more of our roads with cycle lanes is crippling, strangling, congesting London beyond belief. And I think people have got to realise that a London that moves beautifully and without any problems is going to be a successful economy as well.
Apart from ULEZ, what other priorities would you have as a candidate for London?
Yes, I'm not a one-trick pony. I am looking at other issues big time. He has a budget, the London Mayor, of about £20 billion. And we're looking at actually that's not being spent wisely. He's a net financial management of this. We can look at closely. I believe we can triple the number of policemen to stop, so we get visible policing on our streets to reduce crime and make people feel safe on the streets, particularly women. I do believe that we can actually triple the number of social housing we can do on brownfield sites and improve planning regulations, etc. There are lots of things we can do, which he's missed targets beyond belief, Sadiq Khan, in terms of social housing building. And I believe we can get on track. The important thing is people are crying out for a change. People are crying out for honesty, and you don't get that from this current mayor.
Reform UK used to be the Brexit party, and they did quite well in the 2019 Euro elections. Do you think there is a chance? Because obviously people say this is a Labour city, but I would say it's not a Tory city, it's an anti-Tory city. Do you think that there could be actually a big chance for reform, just like what Brexit party did in 2019, to actually win London?
Yes, I do believe that, because the people I talk to, it's nothing to do with your party political colour. It's down to common sense policies. You free up London, you cut crime and ditch Khan, we stand a real chance of actually getting some success back into London.
Brilliant, thank you very much. Thanks for the interview. There we go. So you can actually go.
You're busy, man.
There we go. So, what do we have? Where is let's find Richard Tice. He's currently busy on his phone. Mr. Leader, can you have a few words?
No, very good to see you. Great to see you. Let's talk afterwards, because we've got so much to say. Such an exciting time. Such a great candidate. We're going live in just a second.
Let's get... Look at him. They're getting in the taxi. Okay, so they're going to do their thing. There we go. So this is the black cab with the branding of Howard Cox and Reform UK. Scrap ULEZ, cut crime, ditch Khan. And they're going to come from that way. What are they going to do? Okay. Let's see what the plan is. Let's just wait here, guys, for a bit.
Driving back in the battering range in South Coast.
You got to take it for the first joyride, did you?
Mr. Dobney, are you excited?
Yes, I'm very excited. I will happily give you some words. Yes, Mahyar, I'm very excited. I think Cox London is well overdue.
Yep.
Sadiq Khan is a highway robber. He's bankrupting the poorest, care workers, white van men. I've got onto Walthamstow Market, where I was campaigning 2 years ago, speak to the trade associations there, all the Indian lads. They had to scrap over 100 white vans when Oola's expanded out to Walthamstow. Now it's going even further. £500 million a year being fleeced from taxpayers, built on a web of lies. Cons figures of 4,000 deaths per year associated with air pollution. Well, that's like saying I smoked 40 fags for 20 years, but it's the air pollution that finished me off. Absolute deceit, lies, time to kick out Con. Howard Cox is the man. I'm fully behind him.
Are you going to be campaigning?
Certainly, 100%.
Brilliant.
Don't forget, I've campaigned in a mayoral before.
There we go. That's the car going.
Looks brilliant.
Where are they going? There's no one in the car.
Not quite a driverless car. But
Yeah,
I think working class Londoners,
Yep.
small business owners, the poorest motorists, those who are told to scrap their cars and buy diesel, buy Labour government, buy Gordon Brown. Now Khan is a highway robber, he's pickpocketing them. I think there are millions of votes out there. They all need to unite behind the sole anti-ULEZ candidate, that's Howard Cox.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Pleasure, mate.
Let's see if I think
go,
they're
mate.
going to get in that car and going to come back here. So it's going I believe they are doing their own live stream or something. Yeah. But so we have the car coming here. And we have Richard Tice in the car getting out. This is proper behind the scenes stuff. There we go.
Here we are. It's a glorious day in central London, this fantastic city of ours. And it's a great day for Reform UK to be launching our mayoral candidate for the mayoral elections in May 2024. London should be the greatest capital city on earth. So much potential. We love it so much. But tragically, it has suffered 7 years of catastrophic mismanagement by Sadiq Khan. And it's time now to ditch Khan. So much potential, but he is presiding over an absolutely appalling reign. London's now the slowest major city in the world. Imagine that. The slowest city in the world because of his hopeless, useless, anti-car, anti-motorist policies. Crime in London is soaring. Almost 1 in 10 Londoners suffers a crime every single year. Ourselves, we have suffered a crime just this very morning. All of this, and let's remember, Sadiq Khan is the Police and Crime Commissioner for London. He has failed us all. And thirdly, housing, affordable housing. Young people, all of us want to be able to rent or to buy. He's completely missed all of his affordable housing targets. And I'm the guy, as leader of Reform UK, I caught Sadiq Khan cheating a few years ago, deliberately double counting on his housing numbers to boost his numbers because he was failing so badly. So that's why we're having a year's run-up in order to get the right mayor elected with the right policies to get London moving again. It is absolutely vital. We've got to get London moving in terms of transport. We've got to get London moving in terms of housing. We've got to get London moving in terms of cutting crime. We've got to get businesses moving again. We've got to get people employed again. So much potential, so much opportunity. But tragically, under Sadiq Khan, so much woeful, catastrophic management. We can do better. And that's why I'm delighted, hopefully, if the traffic hasn't held him up, that our candidate will be appearing any second now in the finest form of transport, of course, that London offers, the good, wonderful London taxi. Here it is. Here is our London taxi, and it is beautifully adorned with Howard Cox for London. The picture of Howard Cox, here he is, getting out of the taxi. Welcome, Howard. Welcome.
Yay!
Fantastic. Congratulations. Thank you. Howard Cox, the Reform UK mayoral candidate for London. He is the man to get London moving again. What a glorious way to arrive, Howard. Fantastic. In the taxi. Doesn't it look marvellous?
I'm not so sure with my face on it, but I'm very proud of it.
But it does what it says on the tin. So, Howard, it's fantastic to make this launch today. And tell us first of all, what is here we are? I've got the microphone so we can hear you. Tell us, Howard, firstly, just a little bit about yourself and why you feel so passionately about getting London moving again.
Well, for 13 years, I've been fighting on behalf of the motorists, the trucker, the small trader, the sole trader, the plumber, the electrician, etc., keeping tax low. And since 2010, we've managed to, in my campaign of Fair Fuel UK, to get fuel duty frozen. It's the longest ever tax in terms of being frozen in the history of this government. To cut a long story short, I've been bombarded with support from people. Something like 1.7 million people have signed up to Fair Fuel UK over the last 13 years. And something like about 17,000 in the last 3 months have asked me, please, could I take on this horrible wrecking ball of a mayor in London and actually do something about actually LTNs, 20-mile-an-hour limits, and of course ULEZ.
And I was just saying, I mean, this statistic that London is now the slowest large city in the world, just come out in the last few months. I mean, what an embarrassing, humiliating failure under Khan's leadership.
Well, it's totally man-made. He's caused this problem. He's strangled our city. He's strangled our economics. He's caused so much congestion. Only recently, I've actually produced a report, an independent report from the CEBR, the Centre of Economic Business Research, who said ULEZ, for example, the whole of ULEZ is costing something like £800 million a year to our GDP. Now, that cannot be right.
It's a disaster for London. And if you've got questions that you want to ask us, you want to ask Howard as our candidate, then on live stream, you can put them under the comment section and we're going to get back to them at around 1 o'clock. So do put forward your questions. We'll try and answer as many of them as we can. So let's just look, Howard, at the key priorities, the key policies that you're going to be campaigning on, Reform UK is going to be campaigning on for the next 12 months. The election is on the 2nd of May, 2024. So we've got 12 good, solid months to go for it. What are the key things that we're going to be campaigning on?
Well, we're going to be the only party, and I'm going to be the only candidate that's going to call for the complete scrapping of ULEZ.
The whole of ULEZ?
The whole of it. It's not just the extension, the whole of ULEZ to scrap it.
That's an absolutely key thing. The only party, the only candidate that wants to scrap the whole of ULEZ that has been so catastrophic to our economy and to our movement.
And on top of that, the low traffic neighbourhoods, which all that's doing is making people who live in them very happy, but pushing the congestion and all the problems to surrounding areas. It doesn't work. And the little matter of the 20-mile-an-hour zones, which do not make any difference to it in terms of road fatalities. There's no difference whatsoever to do with in terms of safety. They're the three biggies in terms of actually the road use.
In terms of getting London moving, and that's so critical because the low traffic neighbourhoods, actually, they have caused huge damage to local businesses, trading businesses. Many shops have just literally had to shut up shop, lay people off, and that's been catastrophic for neighbourhoods, for local communities.
Well, you're absolutely right. My inbox in terms of Fair Fuel UK is absolutely swollen with people saying, I can't run my business anymore. It can't be right. This is ridiculous. And it's not been done with any consultation. And even if a consultation goes in place and people disagree with it, it seems to be overridden by these, what I call career-driven politicos.
Absolutely right. And of course, it was the Tories that gave money to the local authorities at the beginning of COVID, no consultation, and it's not what communities want.
And that was a temporary measure. It wasn't supposed to be permanent.
There's nothing temporary about some of these low traffic neighbourhoods unless we get you elected and then we can turn this around. It's so vital. It's just not right that businesses have the lifeblood of local communities taken away from them. So, and then the other thing about the low traffic neighbourhoods, of course, if you've got slower traffic, you've got more emissions on the main roads, and that's actually causing more pollution. Completely the opposite of what Sadiq Khan says he wants to achieve from it.
Well, absolutely, and don't forget one of the things he actually did is Transport for London report. Actually came out only recently saying when he wanted to know how wonderful this ULEZ expansion would be good to our breathing clean air. Well, let me tell you now, quite categorically, Transport for London, his own people told him it would make no demonstrable difference to the air we breathe, the air quality at all.
This is how devious that Sadiq Khan is. His own report, produced by Transport for London, no less, that he's the boss of, they said the difference would be negligible. 0, null. And yet, he carried on. He's absolutely obsessed. He ignores the evidence. He ignores the wishes of Londoners. Utterly shocking. And the 20 mile an hour, again, no evidence whatsoever that makes any difference.
And I repeat, it's not democratic. I keep repeating this point. He has not asked the main stakeholders involved in the people that use the roads. They're using pothole-ridden roads. The local authorities are actually ruining in terms of roads. They're not spending the money wisely. They seem to be spending it on woke ideas and woke beliefs, total idealism, rather than reality. We're in a cost of living crisis, and it doesn't seem to matter to them.
I'm here now with Sadiq, not with Sadiq Khan, I'm here with Howard Cox. I mean, I'd like to have a word with Sadiq Khan, but he always ignores our invitations. But I'm here with Howard. If you've got questions, then do put them on the comments page. We'll get back to them on the live stream at around 1 o'clock, because we want to hear from you, hear what your thoughts are. What are your concerns? One of the other concerns, of course, Howard, apart from getting London moving, is we've actually got to cut crime. We've got to get the police moving. Get them doing the job that actually people want them to do.
Well, we want to get them from behind the desk and out on the streets. We want visible policing. I believe we can triple the number of bodies on the beat. But you imagine how everyone, no one would deny that should be a prime objective. And that's what I'll be putting forward in our manifesto.
And we can do that. Unbelievably, the number of bobbies on the beat at the moment, I mean, it's less than 5%. Less than 5%. So, you know, we could easily treble the number of bobbies on the beat, but it requires leadership, it requires absolute determination and drive. It's a simple slogan, but it actually means a lot. We've got to police the streets and not the tweets from behind the desk.
Absolutely right. All the police I talk to want to go out and prevent crime. They don't want to fill in these bloody forms. We can use technology, we can use artificial intelligence, all the things to help them make their job easier. More for that. But they've got to be visible, especially for young women, women walking home, going on the last train at night. They want to know they're safe.
And that's right. And women in London do not feel safe on the streets because of the failures of Sadiq Khan. Absolutely shocking. And it's everybody has the right to feel safe on the streets of London. But under this mayor, Sadiq Khan, we do not. And in particular, women do not. And then let's talk about housing, because obviously there's an affordable housing crisis everywhere, but particularly in London.
Well, I have a particular, very personal interest. I have a daughter who's in her early 30s, and she's got a good job. She actually drives a 40-ton truck, but she's been looking for a house to be in for ages and ages in London and can't do it. She's looked all ways of doing it, and every way she turns, there's obstacles put in front of her. She can afford to actually do something. Maybe 100% mortgages we're talking about, that's good news. But if we allow better social housing being built right across the brownfield sites, get planning easier, all those sorts of things, I think we can triple the number of properties.
We can definitely treble the affordable housing, no question at all. But you've got to know how to do it. You've got to know how to work with developers. You've got to make the planning system work. And remember, I'm the guy that caught Sadiq Khan cheating, lying, double counting the affordable housing starts just a few years ago because he knew he was failing his targets. We can do this. We can treble the number of affordable houses. We've got to work with developers. We've got to have a planning system that works so that we can build on brownfield sites, because Londoners want affordable housing. It's a great opportunity, however. In summary, we've got to get London moving.
Absolutely right, and I'm afraid that we're the only party that can do this. You approached me to come and join you, and I'm delighted to accept, simply because you've been a good supporter of Fair for UK and drivers right across the country. You want to actually scrap the 2030 ban on diesel petrol cars. You want to cut fuel duty by 20p. And fundamentally, I'm right with you on that one. No other party is. I'm very saddened. I've been a voter of Tories, the Tory party for nearly 50 years. But I believe the Tory party has left me now, and we need to actually have some common sense policies that really will work.
Well, this is the reality, and it's so important because actually the truth is so many traditional conservative voters, they feel that that party has left them. Traditional Tory London voters actually support Reform UK's policies to get London moving. And the truth is, actually, see, back in 2019, we did the right thing for the country. We did the right thing for the country by standing aside in some seats then. Now, it's the time of the Tory party to do the right thing for London. Because the only way to get Sadiq Khan out, to ditch Khan, actually is the Tories, they must not stand a candidate. Because then all of the anti-Khan vote will coalesce behind Howard. If they stand the candidate, the risk is that it's the Tories that split the vote. And that would be irresponsible, it would be negligent, because it would let Sadiq Khan in by the back door. So don't let the Tories split the vote. Focus on this man, Howard Cox. It's wonderful you're standing, Howard. It's not an easy thing to do, putting your head above the parapet. But you've been a fantastic campaigner. You've achieved so much with Fair Fuel UK over the last 10 years plus. I mean, remarkable achievements.
Yes, I'm very proud of what we've done, and I've not made a penny out of it, by the way. Before people accuse me of being backed by fossil fuel companies, I'm not.
Oh, it's Sadiq Khan that says that, isn't it?
Exactly.
And then he's not very good at telling the truth, as we've proven on
you already
multiple
know.
occasions.
But I'm going to spend the next 12 months campaigning to rally behind all the anti-Khan groups to come and rally behind me. If together we can make a difference, and that includes you, the Conservatives.
It's such a great opportunity, and it's fantastic. If you've got any questions for Howard, for myself, do put them in the comments. We'll get to as many of them on the live stream. We'll be back at 1 o'clock. Thank you very much for listening, for watching. It's a great day here in London. The weather's glorious. It's a great day because now London has the best.
All right. So let's have a quick summary of what just happened. So essentially, we've had multiple defections today from the Conservative Party, one to Reclaim and the other one to Reform UK. And Howard Cox is the mayoral candidate. He's more radical than the other candidates because he says that he wants to completely scrap ULEZ, not just the ULEZ expansion, but the whole of ULEZ. The only issue is that some people would say London is a Labour city. I would disagree. I would say London is an anti-Tory city. So by default, a lot of them would end up voting for Labour. But Brexit Party in the 2019 Euro elections, they won in London. So it could happen, but at the same time, it's still very difficult for Reform UK. They obviously still didn't perform too well during the local elections that we had last week. They couldn't really get enough candidates to fill them everywhere. They are aiming for London and the general election in the country. The problem is the main two parties have more resources to be able to campaign against them. So it'll be very hard to see Howard Cox actually becoming mayor, but never say never. It's very interesting. So we can see the taxi with Howard Cox and Reform UK. And here he goes. All right, we're gonna take a break. I'm gonna go back and we're gonna start today's news shows and everything else on the channel shortly after this. And we have so much to talk to you guys about. I'm gonna, obviously, earlier on we were at the Reclaim press conference. We had some issues. My tripod was broken and the sound quality was terrible. So I'm gonna do an actual summary analysis of that press conference when I get back. And of course, we have other news stories as well to talk about. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I'm Mahyar TC. We are the media.